Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Mexi here once again, and I am back for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion 2, aka Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for those of you who lived in North America, for the Nintendo 3DS/Nintendo Switch, as we are still playing through Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. So, last time, we did somehow manage to tackle through not one, but two final missions in Journey Forms of an Old Clockworks by going into Showtime, as well as the forms of Outlandish Interruption, by not only about the fact that we did somehow capture the last few ghosts during the forms of an Old Clockworks. In addition to that though, we somehow claim ourselves the 13th and the final gem, and on top of that we also did manage to collect ourselves the 4th Dark Moon piece. So naturally speaking though, we've only got 2 pieces left until we somehow basically recovered the Dark Moon itself. So, and as a result, just like the forms of the other 4 missions, well, suffice to say though, we actually did those 2 missions really well, especially concerning for the fact that we somehow got the 3-star medals with 2 of those missions in particular. And finally, most notably though, we did somehow manage to take on the 3rd possessor. So anyway, today for this video is that we're about to be continuing things on in Journey Forms of a Dark Moon quest, and this time we are heading over to a whole new world, or in some cases a whole new mansion or anything else like that. This one takes place in the snowy mountains called Secret Mine. Now, about what the forms of Secret Mine are, again, it's probably best if we're able to save that particular topic, assuming of course about the fact that, well, obviously though is about the fact that, well, today's date of course there is the 25th of September today, in some cases in 2024 today. So anyway, before we get into more details about this though, here we go on to the first mission in Secret Mine, and this one takes place in Mission D-1, Cold Case. So, it may look like, according to the forms of the description, it may look like we're about to be trying to find yet another toad. So, because obviously though, we've previously saved 2 of those toads previously, one of them in the forms of Haunted Towers, and then the other one which is the forms of Old Clockworks. So, this might actually be the 3rd toad we can able to save. So either way though, a few things I want to talk about this before we get this entire mission started though, is about the fact that yes indeed, ever since in yesterday that Disney's Epic Mickey Rebrushed has recently came out recently, from the likes of not only for PlayStation 4, as well as PlayStation 5 and Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, PC Steam, and of course the Nintendo Switch. And on top of all that stuff though, is that until tomorrow anyway, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom will be releasing tomorrow. So that'll be a perfect opportunity about the fact that Ray the Flying Squirrel will definitely gonna be coming back onto playing through Link's Awakening Remake in just in time about the fact that he can able to actually celebrate the release of The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And finally, most notably though, is about the fact that recently though, on Disney Plus, Inside Out 2 has recently came out today on Disney Plus. So yeah, I was really looking forward to rewatching that film again. Mind you about the fact that I've already technically pre-ordered the DVD physical version, so just so I'm sure for the fact that if I go out somewhere, obviously though I can watch that film anytime, especially concerning for the fact that after all I still got myself my glorious portable DVD player, so that way I can able to watch certain DVDs on the go, especially concerning for the fact that despite the fact I haven't used it that much recently, so
Hello?
So yes, here we are at the Secret Mine, and as a result, it's very snowy outside. So because of that though, what to expect about the fact that every once in a while though is about the fact that not only do we have to suck up some snow, not able to get certain progressioning, but it's also every once in a while though on certain sections coming up that we have to deal with the forms of ice physics if you manage able to walk on ice. So just like the forms of how it does it on most video games when it comes to snowy themed levels. So anyways though, as I mentioned this before, is about the fact that yes indeed, Inside Out 2 has recently came out today on Disney+, whilst meanwhile in the UK version on the not only DVD, but also on Blu-ray as well, I believe we've only got about exactly 5 more days to go until the physical release in the UK version was expected to be releasing. So either way though, but I'm still basically excited for it still when it comes to rewatching that film again, especially concerning for the fact that I still really enjoy that film so much. And hopefully we can able to expect to see what's to come when it comes to likely for the future years for Pixar. Well, aside from the fact that we still have to able to wait for Ello to be released, and on top of that, even with the forms of some other future sequels during that time, which are Incredibles 3, Toy Story 5, and pretty much anything else to be expected. So either way, so if we look for that particular window right there, then we see there is actually a hider just somehow swings back and forth with the actual swing chair, or rocking chair to be more specifically. So either way though, I will admit though right away, it has been about 2 days ago since I actually have last played this game for sure, because like I said before, it's about the fact that, well, fundamentally though, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is going to be releasing tomorrow for everywhere else. So, and I believe fundamentally speaking though, it's about the fact that I'm pretty sure that we've only got about, I would say, 22 days to go until Super Mario Party Jamboree was expected to be releasing during that time, and also around at that time is about the fact that we've only got exactly 1 month left, or technically speaking though, 13 more days to go until Sonic X Shadow Generations for multitude of platforms will be releasing. So because of that though, still I'm basically excited for it. So, oh yeah, talking of which though actually, when it comes to Secret Mine itself, it kind of reminds me like I was exploring through Canada for the sake of the forms of Vancouver or something, because obviously that was about the fact that when it comes to Canada, it's actually very popular when it comes to having snow and stuff like that. Well, mind you, I have heard about Canada before, but I haven't exactly been into that yet. So either way though, so let's just go ahead and take care of the forms of some hiders here, so just to ensure we can able to progress. So either way, so as to be expected, we got ourselves the polar bear rug right there. So that's to be expected when it comes to the forms of trying to make it a little bit more atmospheric when it comes to likely cozy vibes to it. And even the music sounds a little bit more relaxing and stuff like that, especially concerning for the fact that, you know, snow is usually cold, and then we do need some bit of fire right there. And as you can see, as soon as we're able to actually pull the polar bear's tail, then basically though we get ourselves the next gold greenie right there. And of course we can able to get some more money in the process. So now, for the most part, it's about the fact that I will admit though right away, Secret Mine is actually pretty unique in terms of how this mansion plays out to be, although there is that one particular annoying gem that is usually going to be coming up during at some point in Journey Forms of on the 3rd mission specifically, which we're probably not going to get into more further details for this point right now, but either way, so it looks like about the fact that if we somehow interact with this particular thing right there, as we saw from earlier, basically though, EGAT did somehow mentions about the fact that we must make our way to the next segment right here. So, oh, and by the way, something's worth noting for, that's not the only gold greenie we can able to come across into, because, oh no, there's actually more to it, because as far as I'm aware, well, after we go for this particular room first, so in some cases though, we meet again with the exact same ghost type, except now that he decided able to, well, carry this object, so we can able to try to get it out, and now we can able to actually capture him that way. So, and there's another greenie right there, so we can do the same thing. So anyway, there's also another thing worth mentioning for actually. Did you guys know about the fact that, yes indeed, about the fact that I mentioned this earlier, that today's date of course there is the September 25th in 2024. Guess what though? Happy 5th anniversary of the game's release of Mario Kart Tour. And because of that though, gee, it's been about 5 years ago since when Mario Kart Tour has first released on mobile phones, since in Journey phones have been the, well, you know what I'm talking about, since in 2019. So how's it hold up after 5 years since when it's first released? Well, it doesn't hold up very well after 5 years, I'll admit it though right away. Especially about the fact that, well, let's start things off with the positives while looking back on Mario Kart Tour. I will admit though, the character roster is easily the best part about the game for me. Not only because it was jam-packed, but it's also about the fact that it does have some very, interesting selection of those specific characters has been now introduced in a Mario Kart game, ranging from, let's just say, Nabbit, King Bob-omb, and as well as Dixie Kong, and even especially noticeable with Pauline, and all that stuff. And also on top of that, the amount of... Wait a minute. What's that in the background? That looks familiar, doesn't it? Although before I get into more details about the forms of while looking back on Mario Kart Tour after 5 years since when it first came out though, let me just double check of what's beyond on the specific other aspects, like if we take a look through here in the fishing hut. Oh, wait a second, that boo is up to something. And sure enough though, it was about the fact that he did somehow manage able to put up a Toad painting. So yeah, we definitely need to save him. So either way, so there's actually another secret we can able to actually try to find right there. And that's what appears to be about the fact that, well, first of all, let me just bring out this invisible door out. And remember what I said before is about the fact that not only about the fact that we can able to come across into not only one gold greenie, but there's actually more to it thanks to the forms of this plug. And basically though, if we try to shoot the actual plug at the actual, the goalie right there, thinking about his hockey, well, as you can see, there are 2 more gold greenies. So generally speaking though, we can able to actually come across into not 1, but 3 gold greenies in the single mission. So yeah, that's actually pretty interesting to say the least. Although mind you about the fact that them 2 do have 10 health as opposed to 20 health. So yeah, like guessing about the fact that they just want to able to deal with these 2 gold greenies in the ice physics around here. So yeah, it does seems pretty cool though. And by the way, every time whenever you do manage to score a goal, basically though, it gets like its very unique score goal sound right there, to think about the fact that you actually playing ice hockey and stuff like that, except the fact that we can't utilize with the hockey stick, so oh well. Oh jeez, speaking of which, there's a boo right inside, but he got away. So either way though, and something tells me the Toad painting was actually gone too. So how do we get that back? Well, first of all, let me just go ahead and suck up some more snow, and just to show off the fact that, as I mentioned this before, yeah, since we are walking on ice, this means about the fact that we have to do with a lot of ice physics here and there. So because of that though, yeah, that's all I can really say about this, I guess. So anyways though, so let's go ahead and use the dark light on the specific spot, but I just want to make sure if I don't miss something, like that particular gem. So it's a good thing I did somehow manage to check that before I can able to actually bring out the another Toad out of the painting. So either way though, because otherwise though, if you dare miss this out though, well, you have to able to select restart mission, and you have to restart the entire progressioning all over again within a singular mission. So because of that though, yeah, it's a bit tedious for sure, but regardless of everything else though, thankfully it's nothing even compared to the forms of being a 13th and a final gem, at least in my opinion anyway though. But then again though, we'll talk more about that during at some point until next Monday, specifically by the end of this month. So well then, it looks like we somehow freed Blue Toad this time. So this is now the 3rd Toad we're about to be doing with an escort segment. So either way though, are you sure of trying to dancing around Blue Toad? Because something bad is about to happen. And so much so about the fact that the ice is now break apart, so you know what that means about the fact that we pretty much ended up in the next area. So anyways though, and it looks like the reception has gone pretty bad, because if you couldn't tell from the actual in-game text dialogue right there, certain words have been missing due to the forms of the signal has been pretty bad during the forms within the actual specific area. So it looks like we got to make our way to the specific route to bring Blue Toad back to the safety place. So either way though, yeah, let's continue things on with the forms of this whole entire discussion about the forms of while looking back on Mario Kart Tour after 5 years since when it first came out. Although, I will still say about the fact that the amount of content was actually very impressive, especially concerning for the fact that we got so many race tracks, including certain new ones that's actually introduced, and eventually at some point it will brought over to Mario. Oh my god, there's a 4th one right there. Oh man, this is gonna be something else entirely, especially concerning for the fact that I think this might actually be the only mission throughout the whole entire game that we can able to actually come across into so many of those gold greenies. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool in that specific circumstances. So anyway, so it may look like we'll just carry Blue Toad from here and able to try to aim right onto this particular point right there, and so much so about the fact that once we do manage to do just that, another gem did somehow shows up. So, and it looks like this time around though is about the fact that the color of these gems are now in blue. So technically we are collecting sapphires. So yeah, it makes sense for the sake of the forms of how the fact that again, when it comes to those specific names of those colored gems, obviously though is about the fact that we've already come across into green gems representing emeralds, and also the red gems representing rubies, and now we stumbled across into the blue gems to represent sapphire. So I'm not exactly sure about the other color though, because mind you about the fact it has been about, like I stated before, it's been about 2 days ago since I actually have last played this game for sure. And relatively speaking, I was about the fact that, like I said this before, we are almost finishing up in terms of Luigi's Mansion 2 or Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for those of you who lived in North America. So anyway, so let's go and interact with this particular pickaxe right there. Well, it's not so much for this one, because obviously though this one right here is kind of worthless, but if we do manage to able to double check on other pickaxes around in Journey forms of somewhere, then we might able to actually get ourselves some bunch of rewards around here. So either way though, yeah, it just spins around and then basically nothing happens from this point. Unless if we're trying to do with a yet another pickaxe, but this time we're able to actually get something, like those 3 gold bars. So yeah, everything else is all good and everything, but there's also yet another pickaxe, but it's actually going to be invisible, so we have to use the dark light for this. So potentially though, I wonder what's going to be revealed inside of it. So it may look like it's going to be, oh, not 1, but 3 mice. Well, technically though, 2 regular mices and 1 gold mice, which unfortunately though he got away. So because of that though, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate though, just like the forms of how it does it in Luigi's Mansion 1, because otherwise though, if you dare mess this up, obviously though it's about the fact that you'll miss your chance to able to actually get that particular gold mouse. So, oh well, no big deal though, but at least I did manage to try my best able to actually grab as many of those money as I could. So either way though, I believe this particular part right there might not be too important until for later on, that is. So yeah, we'll still have to able to double check what's beyond on this particular point before we're able to do anything. So we'll leave Blue Toad behind for a while, because otherwise though, there is actually yet another gem somewhere. After dealing with these pesky birds, and straight to the point, there's another gem. So, but we will be back for more about it during at some point in a later missions. So for now, let's head back, because obviously though is about the fact that the other bits, they're usually covered in ice, including with that particular tree, which then again though, we'll talk more about that during at some point until next Monday. So either way though, also, as far as I'm aware, I was originally trying to able to explain about the forms of how the review scores actually turns out to be, in regards to the forms of The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, but suffice to say though, it's about the fact that I'm also able to try to mention more about it during at some point on Friday. So either way though, that's as far as I can try to say about this, I guess. So anyway, so we need to make our way there, and how do we get there exactly, I wonder? Well, we can able to actually aim Blue Toad on this particular elevator shaft right here, so we can potentially try to able to well, get ourselves a glorious key to progress. So yeah, everything else is all pretty good and everything. So, and I believe if we managed able to actually go ahead and recruit with Blue Toad quickly, and able to have a look at the forms of the binoculars, then we can able to actually see the different angles for this point right here. And I get the feeling about the fact that there might be yet another gem around here somewhere, by the looks of all that stuff, though, it may look like, if we just somehow manage to try to find this specific thing. So yeah, there's the gem right there. Oh geez, that badge did somehow manage to took it, and something tells me it's dropped into that particular barrel. So yeah, it's important to know that we will come across into that specific gem until for later, because it may look like that we're about to be receiving not 1, but 5 gems in a singular mission. So yeah, that's actually pretty swell, especially concerning for the fact that we can able to do all sorts of stuff around here, which is especially noticeable concerning for the fact that, well, at this point in time, it's about the fact that this is where the missions themselves might be still felt a bit too lengthy, but regardless of everything else, though, it's about the fact that, well, again, we'll discuss more about that if we get on to next week, if possible. So either way, though, so let's just go ahead and let Blue Toad to go through, and this is where we come across into ourselves a bit of a skill that we have to deal with right here. But before we get onto that, though, I need to double check what's beyond. Oh, there's that barrel over here. And straight to the point, though, is about the fact that we might able to actually reveal something like what you expect, yet another boo. So I think this is now the 16th boo we can able to try to get. So yeah, it seems to be more specifically, though, is about the fact that we are also almost done when it comes to capturing those boos in this game. So because of that, though, and this time around, though, it does have more health, as opposed to the forms of how it does on the previous missions, that it does have less HP. So because of that, though, much like the forms of how it does on the first game for sure. So either way, though, so let's just do this again, and this time about the fact that we will definitely try to capture him. So either way, though, unlike something like Peace at Last, that it seems it's kind of easy to miss, I will admit it though right away, but if we try to able to suck up this thing right here, which actually as it turns out is more accurately like a fabric of any sorts, but that particular bit right there is going to be important until for later, so for now, we should probably continue. So anyways, let's get on to the forms of this specific skill I was going to be on about, and that's what appears to be trying to able to take Blue Toad onto the other bit. So because of that, though, what we're supposed to do right here is that we need to use the Poltergeist 5000 to able to suck him up, and I get the feeling, yeah, if you carry him along, the ice will able to break easily. So instead, we have to able to press the ZL button or something like that, if assuming, of course, about the fact that I wasn't thinking straight. But luckily, though, third time lucky, so that means we somehow succeed. So, not too shabby right here. So, anyways, though, there's a golden spider here, and also, if we manage to able to go ahead and, of course, recruit him, of course. And something tells me there might be something around here, though. But I'm also able to check on that in a moment, because it may look like we're now on Drift Hall. So I suppose we should probably head back for a second, because, well, there's another secret in here by spinning that particular pickaxe again, except now it actually reveals even more money, so including some gold bars as well. So anyways, though, let's continue things on with the forms of this whole topic about the forms of while looking back on Mario Kart Tour after 5 years since when it first came out. I still manage to play it often, but nowhere near as much as the forms of how it does it on, you know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, especially concerning for the fact that we've got the Boosticles pass right now. So because of that, though, and fundamentally speaking, though, it's about the fact that I will admit it, though, right away, the worst aspects for me, though, is not only for its battle mode, but it's also with the controls. My god, the controls are very, very finicky to me still, especially concerning for the fact that, well, luckily, though, about the fact that the game doesn't crash as often as whenever first time I played a game, because obviously, though, it's about the fact that if you dare manage to play the game within downgraded phones, like, for example, with iPhone 6 or something like that, specifically the regular one, do not play the game on your lower upgraded phones, mind you, because otherwise, though, there might be a couple of times that you will come across into a lot of game crashes. So because of that, though, highly recommend you able to play through the game within highest upgraded phones, like XR or 11 and anything else. So that's my best option, as well as the best advice I can give you for this point. So oh, here's an interesting bonus area. We are building a snowman, I see. But here's the thing though, is about the fact that there is this particular annoying thing I want to address about this, and that's what appears to be this very finicky aiming cursor reticle, which as a result you need to be exactly dead on with this particular shot, because otherwise though, if you aim it wrong enough, basically though you will mess up sometimes. So I get the feeling about the fact that if you do manage to complete this bonus area, I get the feeling you might only get a ton of money. So I don't think that it does not contain a gem on this, luckily, until on the third mission, because as far as I'm aware, out of all the actual gems we might able to come across into at some point, that the 13th and the final gem on Secret Mine is by far my least favorite gems to get, especially concerning for the fact that not only because it's frustrating, but as well as from that, it contains the most annoying issue that I have with the forms of aiming and shooting stuff, especially concerning for the fact, as you saw right there, that I've somehow failed on that particular bonus area, so this means I'm probably not going to guarantee to get myself the best rank after all. So, oh well, beggars can't be choosers, I guess, especially concerning for the fact that, well, obviously though, I was trying my best to able to actually get the good results in terms of the forms of the actual specific medals I can probably get at that point. So, anyway, so we've met again with the forms of those sneakers ever since in junior forms of an old clockworks, so yeah, it functions the same way as before, except now about the fact that we now need to deal with these guys on the actual ice. So because of that though, because again, we have to do with a lot of ice physics around here, so either way though, just get used to it. So anyway, so I don't think there's anything else in these little box crates or anything else like that, apart from the fact that we somehow activate this little straw bulb bomb for specifically to able to actually get ourselves, oh jeez, those frogs are pretty much pure yellow or gold to be more specifically. So yeah, it seems kind of interesting to say the least. So especially concerning for the fact it seems it's also kind of weird how these frogs did somehow manage to able to exist in a snowy environment. So I mean, it's kind of weird, don't you think? But anyway, let's continue things on, and straight to the point, I believe this is now the final bit of this mission, because otherwise though, we now ended up in the airway, although we can't go from here, but because we have to keep an eye on Blue Toad for now, obviously though, he refused able to walk on ice, so because of that though, okay, so it may look like it's time to able to, well, do some more balancing and stuff like that. So, either way though, and also we have to watch out for that particular gust of wind, because otherwise though, if you dare fall, then you have to restart that particular balancing segment again. But luckily though, it only took me one try to do this, and fundamentally though, we somehow fixed the bridge for Blue Toad to now able to go across. So, but anyway, so let's go ahead and recruit him again, so just to ensure for the fact that he doesn't go continuously wandering around like bonkers and stuff like that. But before we go onto that particular elevator lift, obviously though, we've now got ourselves the 5th gem on Secret Mine. And there's also that particular thing right there you can able to activate if you want to go back if you wanted to. So just to ensure for the fact that that way you get your benefit for the doubt when it comes to able to getting yourselves another chance to able to actually get that particular gem from earlier. So either way, so I'm pretty sure we are done with this for the most part. Well, apart from the fact that if we able to actually go onto that particular elevator, or the lift rather. And I believe that pretty much does it for this mission, apparently, because, well, as soon as we activate that particular projector, well, the mission's complete. And thankfully though, just like the forms of how it does it in Haunted Towers, as well as Old Clockworks, there aren't any ghosts around here. So because of that though, at least thankfully we don't have to worry about the forms of those other ghosts at the end, until specifically for later on though, as it is. So either way, also I just realized about the fact that I totally forgot to able to show you guys that particular yellow fuzzball creature familiar. Well, I suppose it's already too late for right now, because like I said as before, the mission itself is completed. So because of that though, let's see what really happens about the fact that, well, despite the fact that I don't think it's possible for me to guarantee to get ourselves entails the 3-star ranking medal, sadly. But regardless of everything else though, yeah, I'll take the 2-star ranking medal, especially concerning for the fact I did mess up on that particular bonus area. In addition to that though, I also forgot to look up on other secrets on that particular mission itself. But oh well, no big deal though. But then again though, I will come back into that mission on my spare own time, just to ensure for the fact I can able to improve upon my best results, you know. But anyway, so now we're done with the forms of cold case. So yeah, I was very surprised about the fact that, you know, we did this mission no problem. So either way. Now I suppose the final thing I want to mention about, in terms of today's discussion, that's what appears to be about the fact that I can't even believe it's been about quite a few weeks ago since that particular controversial game out there for PlayStation 5, in addition to PC and stuff like that, which is of course Concord. Basically, that was about the fact that ever since Injury Falls on the 3rd of September, as you know, the actual service of that game has been shut down, and as a result though, it did somehow manage to able to only exist for 2 weeks after its launch, and it seems kind of crazy to me though, especially concerning for the fact that, yeah, I wasn't really interested with that game to begin with, after the events of this particular unexpected announcement of, I would say on State of Play Direct, but that's besides the point. So, in addition to that though, it's about the fact that there's a lot of like criticizing for that particular game as well, and so much to the point about the fact that when it comes to with sold copies has been refunded. So because of that though, at least you get money back after accidentally bought the game by mistake. So either way though, which I suppose that's a good thing in my opinion. So anyways though, with that being said folks, is that we get endings off this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion 2, aka Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for those of you who lived in North America. That's what appears to be about the fact that we're going on to the next mission in Secret Mine called Hit Rock Bottom. So this will be interesting. So I'll see you guys until on Friday. So yeah. Later, fellas.